Hello, my name is Izzy. This is Rolling Virtual Cards coming at you with the Commander deck review number 45 on my track of trying to make every single Commander deck out there. I have made over 800 at this point. And I thought I'd get back to trying to post a lot of these. I enjoy talking about them. So without tags, I don't know. Enabling tags can make it easier to talk about the deck, but then it takes a lot of more time to do so. But with that out of the way, let's just get into it here. So first off, let's talk about the commander. Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, is up next through our run through of Middle Earth. This is 3 and a blue for a 2/4 legendary creature avatar wizard with flash, so you can cast it anytime you can cast an instant. You may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash, and whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, as your ring bearer, draw a card. So this card's got good draw mechanics. It has an interesting thing with sorceries being able to cast as flash speed. So you really have to focus if you're trying to build around Gandalf here. It's arguably the worst Gandalf we got, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. Okay, as more decks come out and more cards come out, you're going to see more sorceries that can just kind of slot into here as a as a fun card to use. And that's kind of the point. Most of my decks, sorry, I dropped a controller there. Most of my decks are just templates that you can, use more and just duplicate the entire deck list and then edit it however you like. That's kind of the point of this, and the goal overall is just to kind of give people a starting point. And this is noted by the fact that I haven't touched this deck in over a year. I think I made this deck probably 2 years ago. And so, yeah, you might say, well, why isn't this card in there? And the answer is that I make a lot of decks, guys. I don't have time to go back and edit decks constantly and update them. That's up to you guys. Start with the basis here, get the understanding of the deck, and then go from there. So let's get into the 99. I have it sorted by card type, so hope that works for everyone. Let's start with Brawl. Chief of Compliance is 1 in a blue for a 1/3 legendary creature human wizard. This is going to make your instant sorceries cost 1 less, and since you're running a lot of sorceries, this is going to help. And then if you whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So this is going to be helpful. Just making your sorceries cost less. Because we're focusing on sorceries, you're not going to see as many counter spells in a deck like this, but there's still some, possibly. Chrome Host Seed Shark is 2 in a blue for a 2/4 creature Phyrexian Shark with flying, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, incubate X, where X is the spell's mana value. Create an incubator token. You basically just make an incubator token with X 1/1 counters on it, and you add and you can pay 2 to transform it into a Phyrexian 0/0 or 0/0 Phyrexian artifact creature. So if you cast like a 2-drop, you get artifact with 2 1/1 counters on it. But if you cast like a 6-drop, you'll get 6 counters on it. Ignite, just a nice way to just kind of build off of running that type of stuff. Next up is Elrond, Lord of Riverdale. This is 2 in a blue for a 3/2 legendary creature, Elf Noble. So whenever it or another creature enters under your control, you scry 1, and if this is the second time this ability resolves this turn, the ring tempts you. So this gives you some scry. Scrying is always decent. It's never like a bad thing. I don't know if you aim for scrying in decks, unless it's like a scry-based deck, but you do aim for just accidental scry can be useful. But the ring tempts you is why it's here. That's going to draw you a card. So with Lord Elrond, you get to scry, and then if you cast another one and you really want that card, you get to draw into it. So, mind you, you get the scry every time. So you get to scry, and the next time you scry, then the ring tempts you, and then that was my phone. And then Gandalf will trigger off of that. Next is Pauper Stitcher, this is 2 and a blue for a human wizard, 2/3 human wizard. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery or spell, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed, which means it can't block, and when it attacks, you sacrifice it at the end of combat. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more creature tokens, you may transform him, and you're going to transform it into a Puppet Factory, an artifact. So creature tokens you control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 3/3. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may transform him. So it's interesting because it turns the Decayed guys. You can just have them sit there and eventually become 3/3s, but don't have their downside. And it can turn a lot of other things into like diffs and 3/3s, which works something like with Chrome Host Seed Shark, because it turns the 0/0s into 3/3s with their 1/1 counters though. But you can transform it if you don't want to. The reason we're running this is because Gandalf itself does not have a win con. If you notice, it's just card advantage and breaking card rules. Whereas you need a way to win, and an easy way to win in a deck like this, a sorcery, like spell thingy deck, is to just run all the little blue cards that make tokens. So next up is Archmage's Emeritus. This is 2 and 2 blue for a 2/2 creature human wizard with Magecraft. So whenever you cast or copy into a spell, you're going to draw a card. Just another great way to draw cards. Get more of these creatures out that are going to make your tokens, like Murmuring Mystic, which is 3 and a blue for a 1/5 human wizard. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, create a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with flying. Great way to just start flooding the field and hitting people. Rangers of Ithilien is 2 and 2 blue for a 3/3 creature human ranger with vigilance, and when it enters, you gain control of up to 1 target creature with lesser power for as long as you control the rings of Ithilien, and the ring tempts you. So this is going to draw you a card, get you the ring temp, and you can steal a creature that your opponent has. Talaron Sky Summoner is 2 and 2 blue for a 2/2 merfolk wizard, and whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, you're going to create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. Perfectly fine, just more creatures to hit people with. Then we've got Whispering Wizards, 3 and a blue for a 3/2 human wizard, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. This ability triggers only once each turn. That doesn't matter since you have, since you can cast sorceries at instant speed. You're just going to cast 1 spell on everyone's turn to trigger this guy 4 times. Dakeem, Factal Theorist, is 4 and a blue for a 3/3 human wizard, and it's got Magecraft. So whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, you create a 0/0 blue or green and blue fractal creature token. You put X1 counters on it, where X is the spell's mana value, and for 3 and a blue, target creature token can't be blocked this turn. So it does allow some creatures to get in, especially these big guys that you're making that don't have flying. But if you cast like a 2-drop, you're gonna like usually get 1 or 2 mana creatures, but you could get a 5 or 6. Docent of Perfection is 3 and 2 blue for a 4/5 creature Insectoria with flying, and whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, put a 1/1 blue human wizard creature token onto the battlefield. Then if you control 3 or more wizards, transform him. So you're going to create a bunch of 1/1s. Gandalf is I think Gandalf's a wizard. Yeah, Avatar wizard. So that'll help give you a wizard. And then it transforms. And now wizards you control get +2/+1 and have flying. And whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, you still make that 1/1 blue wizard creature token. So what's nice about this is it does turn Gandalf from a 2/4 to a 4/5 with flying. So Gandalf can start hitting people. And lastly, for creatures, you've got Serum Sovereign, 4 and a blue for a 4/4 Phyrexian Sphinx with flying, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you put an oil counter on it, and you can pay a blue and remove an oil counter from Sovereign to draw a card, then scry one. This isn't bad, because you're only removing 1 oil counter. It's basically like every non-creature you cast, you can pay 1 extra to draw a card and scry 2. The nice thing is, though, that you can do it later. You can hold up your mana, and if someone's like, I'm going to win, you can go, oh, let's pay a blue, draw a card, scry 2. If you don't draw into a card that stops them, you get to scry 2, bother them, or, oh, there's no card that wins me. Let's quickly use that. So it's a very strong card in a deck like this, because we're running 29 sorceries. And these 29 sorceries, mind you, can all be cast at instant speed if you have Gandalf on the field. And mind you, again, even if he's not on the field, you can pay 3 to cast him at flash. So paying 3, casting him at flash, and then casting a sorcery is allowed after it enters. So if someone goes win con or like Craterhoof Behemoth, you can go flash in Gandalf, ETB, now still in response to your cast, because mine resolves first, cast this sorcery. So Artful Dodge is a blue, target creature is unblockable, flashback blue. So this is pretty cool, making a creature unblockable. And what's fun about this is you can work with your opponents. You can cast this on an opponent's creature, like said Craterhoof, and go, hey, if you attack them, I'll cast the Artful Dodge on you. But also you can do this on attack, which is kind of cool. Birthday Escape is a blue for a sorcery, draw a card, then the ring tempts you. This is just going to draw you 2 cards, plus the ring tempting you. Careful Study is draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. At sorcerer speed, that's okay. At instant speed, though, that allows you to find ways to stop people. Cloak of Feathers, 1 or more creatures, gain flying until end of turn, you draw a card. So this is going to draw you a card, replacing itself, triggering some stuff, and then giving something flying to block or to hit people with. Distortion Strike is a blue. If you notice, there's just a lot of 1-drop blues in sorceries, just to trigger a lot of the other cards. Target creature gets +1/+0 and can't. This turn it can't be blocked, rebounds, or casts again. Gitaxian Probe is just free, but you can do that at instant speed and it'll replace itself. Minds Aglow is a blue for sorcery, and the downside to Minds Aglow is usually that you don't get the stuff. So the way this works is join forces. Starting with you, each player may pay any amount of mana. Each player draws X cards, where X is the total amount of mana paid this way. So normally you pay a bunch, and then they pay a bunch, and then the next 3 people go, and they all have like 20 cards in hand. And what are the chances of you winning? But if you do this on your last opponent's instep, the person to your right, and you're next, that's going to help you a lot more. Just to be able to go, oh look, I win. And maybe you can team up with someone. The guy to your right, you're like, hey, I can Minds Aglow on his instep. Do you want to pay in? And then we'll both have a bunch of cards. They probably won't pay because they don't want us to win. If you think you can beat them. So much better at instant speed. Multiple choices at X in a blue for a sorcery. If X is 1, scry 1, then draw a card. If X is 2, you may choose a player. They return a creature they control to their own hands. If X is 3, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. And if X is 4 or more, do all of the above. So as long as you pay 5 mana, you're going to scry and draw, choose a player to return, and they return a creature, make a 4/4. So, not bad. Usually you can just cast this card for 2, though. So that's not... Up next is Mystic Speculation, which is a blue for a sorcery with buyback 2 and scry 3. So this is a blue and you just scry 3, but as long as you buy back for 2, so paying 3 to scry 3, you can keep casting this to trigger all your instants and or all your creatures and other cards that trigger off casting. All your I call them Magecraft, even though they're not all Magecraft, but the Magecraft abilities. Ponder, this is gonna just 1 for a sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them back put them back in any order, then shuffle, draw a card. So just nice, replaces itself, triggers all your stuff. Protent is a blue for a sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. You may have that player shuffle his or her library. Draw a card at the beginning of the next upkeep. So you can do it to you, or you can just do it to another opponent to get some information. Preordain is a blue, scry 2, then draw a card. That's fine. Again, we're just kind of looking at these. Get a lot of sorceries out that are like normally the downside is that they're sorceries, but being able to do it at instant speed isn't bad. Prosperity is X in a blue. Each player draws X cards. Not awful, just kind of a fun little do something card. And again, the downside to Prosperity is normally that everyone draws cards and you did it on your turn, but doing it on your opponent's turn, or the person right before you's turn at their instep. Everyone draws 6 cards, but then you're next and everything's untapped, so you get the advantage there. Serum Visions is a blue for a sorcery. Draw a card, scry 2, perfectly fine. Sleight of Hand is a blue. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. Slip Through Space is a blue. Devoid, target creature can't block this turn. Draw a card. Again, you're really looking at ways to just keep casting and keep drawing more cards. Void Snare is a blue. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Again, downside is sorcery, but in this deck, that's not the downside. Chart of Course is 1 in a blue. We're getting to the 2 drops here. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless you attacked with a creature this turn. So you won't get that, but again, drawing 2 cards and then discarding a card at instant speed isn't bad. Curse of Swine is X and 2 blue. Exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled this way, its controller creates a 2/2 green boar creature token. Just holding this up at instant speed is a lot better than being forced to use it at sorcery speed. Finale of Revelation is X and 2 blue for a sorcery. Draw X cards. If X is 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard and your library. Draw X cards. And on tap 5 lands, you have no maximum hands over the rest of the game. Exile Finale of Revelation, but paying 12 to cast it on your opponent's end step and just having a bunch of cards plus all your mana back is great. Plus you have 5 lands, so you can still cast some more ways to draw cards. Flood of Recollection is 2 blue for a sorcery. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Flood of Recollection. That's perfectly fine because it's just a way. So this is going to trigger your Tolerand, and then you get a card back to trigger it again. Mass Diminish is 1 in a blue for a sorcery until your next turn. Creature target player controls have base power and toughness 1. Flashback 3 in a blue. This is normally only good for attack. Well, until your next turn, so it's not. But this is great at instant speed if they go to attack you with everything. You're like, actually, they're all 1/1s. Now they're all dead. Really funny. Mind Spring is X and 2 blue for a sorcery. Draw X cards. Don't mind me, I gotta just take a sip here. Which again, great on someone's instep right before your turn. Scour all possibilities, 1 in a blue. Scry 2, then draw a card, and you can flash it back. And again, sorceries can be cast at instant speed, so you can flash them back at instant speed. Next is See the Truth, which is 1 in a blue for a sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of those cards in your hand. Put the rest of the bottom of the library in any order. If this spell was cast from your anywhere other than hand, put each of those cards into your hand instead. You're not going to worry about that part. It's just a simple cantrip. Stolen by the Fae is X and 2 blue. Sorcery, return target creature with mana value X to its owner's hand. You create X/1/1 blue fairy creature tokens with fine. This is normally fine, but again, at instant speed on your opponent's instep, right before your turn, returning a creature and then creating 5, 6, 7 1/1s can help you push for the game. Strategic Planning is 1 in a blue for a sorcery, and you get to look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, and the rest in your graveyard. Perfectly fine. This is going to just give you more card selection. Windfall at instant speed on your opponent's instep. Perfect. Oh, you have 7 cards at your instep. Cool. Or you've got 9, and you're gonna discard down to hand size. Actually, that's Windfall. Everyone draw 9. I'm gonna be going first with all my mana. And the one big guy 5-drop Heroes of the Burn-In is a sorcery. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hand. Scry 1, then the ring tempts you, so it gives you a draw. So those are all the sorceries that you're going to be running. And you push the sorceries because, okay, so here's the thing. Okay, up next, we've got the instances. We're running 9 here. We've got an Offer You Can't Refuse, which is going to counter a non-creature spell. If its controller creates 2 treasure tokens, so this is 1. Blue to do so. Pognify, this is 1 blue for an instant, destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated, and it gets a 3/3. They get a 3/3 ape creature token. Then we've got Swan Song, 1 blue for an instant, counter target enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell. Its controller creates a 2/2 bluebird creature token with flying. Arcane Denial, 1 in a blue for an this is for an instant. Counter target spell. That player that player draws 2 cards on the next upkeep, and you draw 1. Counter spell, just 2 blue to counter a target spell. Glorious Gale, 1 in a blue for an instant, counter target creature spell. If it was a legendary spell, the ring tempts you. This is just good in Commander because you can counter a commander, thus giving you the ring temp automatically. Negate, 1 in a blue for an instant, counter target non-creature spell. Soothing of Smeagol, 1 in a blue for an instant, return target non-token creature to its owner's hand. The ring tempts you, so that'll draw you a card. And Dreadful as the Storm, 1 in a blue for an instant, target creature has base power and toughness 5/5 till end of turn. The ring tempts you. That can really stop a big guy, or it can make one of your small birds bear, little tokens. But counters are really good in this deck just to slow you're not running so many that you can just willy-nilly do it to stop significant danger, and trigger a bunch of your instant sorceries or your magecraft style stuff. Artifacts. A lot of these are going to be ramp. So you got your Soul Ring, one in a generic for an artifact. Tap, add two colorless. Wayfarer's Bauble. This is the one for an artifact. Pay 2, tap it, sack it, search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped. Arcane Signet's just going to tap for your blue in this deck for 2. Fellow Stone 2, it's going to tap for whatever land an opponent could produce. Mainly, you just want to make sure someone's got blue. Liquid Metal Torque, Mind Stone, Thought Vessel, all are 2 generic that tap for a colorless that do different things. Thought Vessel is going to give you no maximum hand size. Mind Stone is going to be able to be 1, you can pay 1 to tap and sack it to draw a card. And Liquid Metal Torque can target non-land permanent, becomes an artifact, and in addition to other types into a turn. That's not a thing that you really worry about in this deck. The only time that matters at all in a non-red deck usually is like, well, unless it's a combo piece. The way this works is that you can, like, if someone runs a red card that like destroys all, or I guess any card that destroys all artifacts, you can turn a creature into an artifact or an enchantment into an artifact. So that's the thing. Scroll of Masteries is 2 for an artifact. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a lore counter on Scroll of Masteries. For 3, you can tap it. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each lore counter on a Scroll of Masters. So you can either use this to really make your commander big, or you can target one of your flying tokens and make it really big while this is out. Inherited Envelope is 3 for an artifact. It comes to the battlefield, the ring tempts you, and it taps for any color. So yeah, this will trigger your commander. And then Primal Amulet is 4 for an artifact. Instant or sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you put a charge counter on it. Then if there are 4 or more charge counters on it, you remove them and transform it. It comes to land. Tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. When that mana is spent to cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the spell. Or for the copy. This is great because it just turns all your like little cantrips into doubles. Next up, you got 5 enchantments. Propaganda. You're not running a lot of creatures, and Propaganda just allows you to drop it down turn 3 and just kind of like don't touch me. Because for 2 in a blue enchantment, creatures can't attack you unless your controller pays 2 for each creature attacking you. Scroll of Isildur is 2 in a blue for a enchantment saga. Chapter 1, gain control of up to 1 target artifact for as long as you control the Scroll of Isildur. The ring tempts you, so you can just steal someone's soul ring for 3 turns. For 3 turns. Doesn't untap it unfortunately, but you know, for 2. Chapter 2, tap up to 2 target creatures, put a stun counter on each of them, which isn't bad. And 3, draw a card for each tapped creature target opponent controls. Yeah, not bad. It's mainly in here because it is the ring tempt, and there's not a lot of ring tempt in blue. Trial of Evidence is 2 in the blue for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, investigate. Not bad. Just being able to get those tokens isn't bad. And just having options to draw cards at instant speed isn't bad either. Jace's Sanctum is 3 in a blue. Instant sorcery costs 1 less to cast. And whenever you cast an instant sorcery, you scry 1. Again, you're not costing a lot of big guys. You have like some 2-drops. So making it, just having one of the mana reducers for those is good. And then being able to scry each turn just helps you find what you need. Especially with cantrips, where you're like, oh, that's not a cantrip again. I want to get more tokens out on my opponents instead. And Metallurgic Summoning is the enchantment card that we're doing with Magecraft. It's 3 and 2 blue for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, you create an XX color as construct artifact creature token where X is the spell's converted mana cost, so you're making 1 and 2s. 3 and a blue, or 3 and 2 blue, exile it. Return all instant sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only if you have 6 or more artifacts. You do technically have a way to get to that with 10. Metallurgic Summoning makes those artifact constructs, and like Trail of Evidence gives you artifacts, so you can make it there and then just return all of them to your hand and try to go off. And you can do that at instant speed, so you can do it on your opponent's turn. And then 34 islands. Now, mind you, you can do what I do with future monocolor decks. So I started this whole process with Lord of the Rings. So as I make more decks, they'll be better made, but you can run snow-covered islands and run like Lens and the gauntlets and I think it's Gauntlet of Power, and then whatever that sphere is, just to get more mana advantage. But I didn't think it was needed in this deck. But overall, this deck is just a lot of like drawing cards. And you might be wondering, what type of hand are we looking for in a deck like this? And that's what we're going to talk about here. So, if you're looking here, you're going to be like, okay, well, you know, let's deal a hand, okay? Is this a good hand? Well, you've got Ramp in the way of Wayfarer's Bauble. Birthday Escape is a decent instant or sorcery. Distortion Stroke is a decent sorcery. Sealgo's Isle, you're not going to be worrying about, and Metallurgic Summoning could be used later. So here, the cool thing is that, yeah, you can turn 1 Wayfarer's Bauble casually, turn 2 Crack the Wayfarer's Bauble, so now you're at 3. So like, okay, so there's turn 1, you get Barrel, you play Wayfarer's Bauble. Turn 2, you got another Island, so you're going to get a Wayfarer's Bauble. Turn 3, Whispering Wizard is great, because now you can play your 3rd Island, you have 4. Play a Whispering Wizard, pass the turn. Draw into turn 5. And here, you're going to play your island. So you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. You can cast your commander for 3. And then you can just pass the turn. And you can hold up like Birthday Escape and Distortion. And cast one of these. Whispering Whale will get you something each time. Birthday Strike is going to draw you 2 due to the effect, or the Ring Bearer, and you can put the Ring Bearer on the token you make that's got flying, which isn't bad because that's gonna be able to trigger the Ring Bearer, the ring, when you attack with it. So you just kind of got like a little going, but then at that point, the next turn, you know, you draw another card, you get another island, you can play it. Now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I mean you drew cards, right? Like at that point, you know, you drew off Birthday, you drew a second card because of the ring. Distortion. I think that can I see more if I scroll out? Okay, that's a return. Gotcha. I don't think it draws you cards, which is fine. Ooh, back down. But yeah, like then you all, oh look, there's Windfall. So if you have the mana, you could Windfall, getting rid of your hand. But you like your hand. Next turn you go, you can cast Metallurgic Summoning and maybe Brawl at the same time. It starts to just kind of like get out of control. Okay, it's 4, my bad. So, although you had 4, so you wouldn't be able to cast stuff, but you could get him out next turn. Or you can just hold him up and then cast him on someone in step. So yeah, like the deck snowballs. You got to set up. It is a setup deck, okay? Mind you, that is one of the type of decks out there, setup decks, where you just kind of like sit there and you just have to kind of like, I get my setup and then I can snowball out of control and go for the win. So that's Gandalf, Friend of the Shire. I think it's a great deck. I think it's really fun overall. And I highly suggest testing out. If you're looking for a mono blue deck, you like Gandalf, you're interested in seeing more sorceries played, again, you can find more interesting sorceries to play on your opponent's turn. There's a lot of them. I went for more of, like, there are sorcery board wipes in blue, and, like, mass bounce effects. The issue with this is, like, they're fine, but they're not always good. And, like, you can't run those and all these token creations, because you lose the token creation then. All the tokens you made are gone. So that's not useful. And there's not a lot of one-sided ones. So those were in the deck, and then I had to remove them because I realized, oh, that's not going to work. What's my win con here? That's the question you're asking yourself. How do I win with this deck? Your best bet is just swarming the field of tokens and hitting them for a game. So, I think it's fun. I think the more sorceries we get in blue, the better the deck will become. But yeah, take a look. I've got a link down in the description if you'd like to take a look at the deck personally. If you'd like to copy it and fix it up, set it up to be how you like it. That's just my concept with the deck. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.